when you actually went back to the Ukraine, right? You went back to Ukraine and visited?
Yes.
And you were talking, and your family could see that their Valentyna was different, right? and you were wanting to share the faith. And didn't you say that there was an uncle who said something to you?
Yes, yeah, my uncle was so
that?
beautiful. He told me, what do you want to do? And I said, I want to spread the word of God. And he said, well, if you want to spread the word of God, do it by your deeds, not by your words.
Yeah, because there had been so many words for so many years from the
Yes.
communists that meant nothing, right?
Yes.
That were empty. Yeah.
And so this is how it started. He said, just do something that is concrete. Do something to help these poor families. You know that medical need is very tremendous here. Because in spite that supposedly that our government should give a free health care, but it's unfortunately not like this, that it's very difficult to come to visit the doctor. You have to pay to the doctor. You have to bring, sometimes even you have to bring your own syringe and your own cotton ball. This is how it is. Or if you don't have it, you could buy it there, but you have to pay to the doctor and to buy it. And a lot of poor families are just, for example, if something major happens, they're not able to go through the simple even treatments, several treatments, while my uncle gave me idea what that should be. It should be something medical, and maybe it is a medical clinic, or maybe it is how traveling clinic. I don't know, So we begin to pray, and my friend Sharon Slivka, wonderful. She was side by side with me, just really helped it and supported throughout all this time. And I told her, what is the need? And she said, well, let us try to accomplish this. And so we really did not know how and what God is going to do with us. But surely he had the plan. He had definitely a plan. And I see that through all of our missions that ever been happened, His providence is followed us at each very step. It is impossible for the person to do this in their own strength.
So how did the first medical kind of mission, how did that come about?
There comes a story that I have to mention my other uncle, who said, well, if you wanted to do a mission, medical mission in Ukraine, and you want to do a clinic, but you forgot that your grandmother's village have hospital that serves 45,000 people and have never been updated since 1950s at the moment it was built. And it is a tremendous, it was just so much need at that hospital that even hard to fathom. Just to try to kind of paint a picture for you here, I would go back to maternity center, for example, and would say that the walls had mold, and it's like a surgery in the birthing center. The tiles were broken. It was just old, very old. Everything is rusty and outdated very much. So it was shock. It was definitely a shock, and it was upon my when I arrived down to Ukraine the first time, and to share that the desire, a desire for just to help however we can, and I spoke to our priest at the time, now is Bishop, Auxiliary Bishop, Bishop Jan Sabilo, and he's probably the only one other person who really encouraged and always stand side by side. But anyway, the mission has begun at this hospital, and but very soon we realized that if our mission is a Catholic mission, it is a mission who brings not only medical equipment, but it brings understanding to every person's heart that the dignity of life must be respected and cherished and loved from the moment of conception to the natural death. And so without a priorship in the container, let us do a very first mission. And we did the pro-life mission in this very hospital, inviting all doctors And we invited also Canadian sisters in Ukraine. They serve in Vinnytsia. They've been doing several pro-life missions like this throughout Ukraine. So they came in all the way down from that part of Ukraine to Kamenka Dniprovskaya, which our first mission happened, and spoke to the doctors. And they were absolutely shocked of the message that how important it is the human body and soul is, and they are two inseparable. And when we showed them, for example, 12-week-old baby models, and they said, I only saw the baby like this in piece and parts. I've never seen it alive.
I've seen it in an abortion. They've seen it torn to pieces, but they've never seen a fetal model, a 12-week-old fetal model in its beauty and in its wholeness.
Absolutely. It is almost hard to fathom how a medical doctor could not see this or understand. And I understand this is very hard to comprehend this, but this is a part of the tragedy and the lie that people lived under the communism rule for so long.
So in your mission, you were bringing, as I recall, you were bringing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of medical equipment, right? You had helped to raise with the help of some sisters in the United States, but you wanted to be sure that you had a pro-life message.
Yes. This is
and pro-life resources that they would receive.
This is the main part of our mission. It is a respect of life, no matter what the cause is. And so this is why Chalice of Mercy is a very broad mission. We're not just touching one part and forgetting about the other. It is necessary if we are to help the families to understand the treasure that they have, and we cannot explain them the treasure that they have in the womb without helping them to understand the secretness of their of marriage, of marital life, and to help them to understand the sacrament of matrimony. So this is very important, to work with the families this way, to help them to go back into what their heart is thirsty, because everybody wants to be loved, and it's impossible without Christ. So Christ in the middle of every marriage, and the gift and the fruit of it is a child. So, and then they begin to live differently, understand differently. We provided many natural family planning classes for married couples, or sometimes it's just even we have people coming from the street. They say, "Can we join a natural family planning class?" We just put advertisements in the bus station, and people come.
There's an openness. There's an openness to learn these things. That's very interesting.
Yes, and important to work with the doctors too, because how the doctor is going to be able to understand the dignity of somebody else's life if they don't have respect for themselves, for their own dignity, for their family, for their children, for their profession. And a great model for this, and we have done this mission in Ukraine 2 years ago, St. Gianna Physician Guild. We brought the founder of this mission, beautiful mission, Thomas McKenna. He traveled down to Ukraine, and it was wonderful. For a whole week we were traveling from different hospitals to different clinics, and Thomas McKenna was speaking to this group of doctors, which brought fascinating message to them. I can be a saint by doing my work. You're saying that I can be somebody very important. I'm not just a number here working, but actually I'm touching the living bodies, the living bodies of children of God. And St. Gianna was so beautifully saying that how important the profession of the doctor, as much as important profession of not profession, but the vocation of the priest and religious. So it is at the moment when the person is dying, if the priests are not able to be there, who is there? The doctor. So, and this is fascinating to them, that they can be somebody important and they can do the mission in their workplace and in their family. So it brings totally different perspective of life.
It gives them a sense of a vocation rather than just a function. right?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes,
Mm.
yes. They inspired by this message very much. This is something good, a good news to them, and wonderful news, because to live in under oppression for so many years, and most of the doctors have 30, 40 years of their professional experience, and for how many years they've been meeting children at the moment when they are born, and the same hands has been destroying the very, very same children in the womb. So to draw this clear line for them to see that the every life is meant to be met by their hands, not killed.